What's up, everybody? Welcome to another sickening Friday night Nitro. Now, my plan today is to make a sickening, rare OS engine extremely, hopefully, great again. Now, let me wait till you guys show up here in the stream and make sure the audio is doing what it's supposed to do. Rare OS engine, extremely, hopefully. All right, the audio seems to be on point. Hopefully, just like this two-speed shift point will be. Get it? That's a bit of a play on words. On point, shift point. There's a lot of points in life. Sometimes you reach a point when you're 30. Sometimes you reach a point when you're 28. It doesn't matter. What matters is the shift point. All right, my dudes, let me say hello to the viewers I see here. We got Christopher Copan Bianco. What's going on, man? All aspects, love of Nitro, Lasso Kid, Mini Mechanical, Nitro Boss. We got No Music RC. The rest of you probably going to be showing up here in a little bit. We got Paige over at Next Level RC Salvage, and person who's always first, Satan's Rage guy, is on the notification gang. You know what I'm saying? Wonder Bread, how you doing? Let me just make sure in terms of audio we can hear loud and clear. You know, I was gonna say we can hear loud and proud, but listen, the term pride today could mean multiple things. Sure, I'm proud of my sickening nitros on this channel, but you know what I'm saying? All right, we got ourselves. My buddy Ben is here. Happy to see you here, man. Now, my dudes, I'm going to wait a couple minutes here and we'll do a little update on this. Last time we've seen this on the channel, it's been probably over half a year since last we've seen this OS 4-stroke engine. Now, I've done a good amount of digging, and now I am finally totally 100% motivated, more than the people who are destroying public property in the Knicks riots in New York City. Oh, we got good old friend Corey here. What's going on, man? Always happy to see Corey. And Robert, how you doing there as well? Let me wait a little while. We'll get the stream going. There seems to be a little bit of an issue glitch today on my end. Maybe let me know if there's any glitching going on. But hopefully we're in the glitch-free zone, everybody. Are you in the glitch-free zone? I try to be in the glitch-free zone, but sometimes you end up in the twilight zone. You know what I'm saying? It's also a subjective phrase as well. Very. Monty, how you doing there, Monty? All right, we got all the sickening channel members showing up. I am happy. By the way, my dudes, if you had a chance today to check out the RJ Speed very first fully built fire up short. Don't forget, guys, just because I work on a ton of projects on one time, I don't forget about them in the background. Eventually, they all get their just desserts. You know what I'm saying? We got Terra Curry in the stream. What's up, man? I know he left a great comment today on that short. I'm happy you guys saw it. I'm basically just doing some breaking on that thing. And, well, then we're going to have to pray that it doesn't disintegrate on its very first run, okay? Guys, if prayer works, we need it to work on the RJ Speed. In fact, Rocky Mountain, how you doing, my dude? You see, we got that in the back over there. I was going hard on it. The next thing to really consider on that RJ is what I should paint the body, or if I should really paint that at all. We could discuss that in a little while. The goal right now, I need to put this engine back together and put it into that Kyosho Super 10. Let me say hello to the people that just showed up, because, bros, without the viewers here, I'm just a guy in a very nice 850 square foot fully furnished basement. And by fully furnished, of course, I mean fully furnished with sickening nitros. I don't mean furnished with like lavish couches, with cup holders. You think I have a cup holder? I have no cup holder here because I got nitros. That is why. And I'm only showing you the legal part. The other part, honestly, I cannot even legally show you. How you like that new Kyosho FW06 kit right there, right in front of that USA one, just where it belongs. All right. Fully furnished. People think couches and sinks means furnished. Well, I believe that it's nitros. I furnish my walls with one thin layer of paint, usually semi-gloss, as per recommendation from Ben, and then nitros all along those walls. Rockin' the Coop, how you doing, man? All right, so while I wait for the viewers to show up here, I actually have to pull up the manual to this. To be honest with you guys, I had too many tabs open on my computer, and someone's gonna say, "I told you so, hybrid. I told you so," and I had to close some of those tabs. Now I can't find the damn manual to it. But you know what? Maybe we don't need it. But of course, it would be nice to have the correct manual. Um, and depending how things go, it might be a fire in the OS 4-stroke hole tonight. It might just very well be. That's right. Corey appreciates those fully furnished spaces. I know Corey over here likes to fully furnish his spaces with, well, jamming truggies. All right, bro. Before I continue, let's take a quick looky at the particular engine we have. We'll show you what I did. Now, to bring you all up to speed, let me bring you all up to speed. Last time, we were all debating, do you need a gasket for the valves? Now, of course, I was going to point to the OS manual, but now my freaking tab is closed. I can't find the tab. If I find the tab, it appears that there is no gasket here. It's supposed to basically just keep it like that. But I'm thinking I like things done right, just like a proper burger. You know, if you ask for a proper burger like medium well and they serve it to you as if they just took it off out of the freezer, that would piss me off. So we don't want any of that. But I'm going to begin assembling this in a little bit. There's really not that much to do, but you have to make things right. Even the carb assembly on this is relatively unique. This is where the carb is going to mount. Now, I have the gaskets here, but they're not really gaskets. They're more like fiberglass liners, right? So there really is no soft type gasket material anywhere in this. And I think that's how it works, really. But I'm trying to pull up the manual. If I could even find it right now, it's hard to freaking OSFS 26 4-stroke car. I mean, I haven't been able to find the manual in quite some time, to be honest with you. So I'm trying to look for it right now. Well, that's going to be almost impossible. I think I got it, bros. Hold on a second. I think I found it. I'm opening it up. I think we're in the high rate of success just occurred right now. Check that out, everybody. High rate of success with the manual. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. By the way, there's multiple versions of these. Now, I've done this video, not this video, but similar portions, obviously, in disassembly. And people were like, well, you could use the engine from the plane versions. These are not the airplane versions. These are the car versions. So they're actually quite different. It's the version 2, baby. All right, let me scroll down. I'm just basically checking for the exploded parts views and some other stuff, and then we'll assemble it and hopefully get it running. By the way, these also use very rare type glow plugs, so I hope nothing bad happens. Wonder Bread goes high rate of success, gang. Well, my dude, I'll tell you this. Back when I was in college, I did invest some money into the stock market. Then I lost some of it, okay? You know why? You want to know why I lost some of it? Not because I have a very good finance education and a minor in economics. It's because no matter what you do, the large banks will always outangle the small investor. What you're basically doing is you're guessing. You know what? I stopped guessing and I started investing in Nitro. That couple $1,000 I lost back right after my college days, I'm still sad about it. You know why? Because I could have had about 25 more Nitros. That is why. Invest in Nitro. Don't think you're going to become a crypto billionaire. It ain't going to happen. All right, my dude. So I have all of the parts laid out here. Let's just go over some of them here on the manual because honestly, they're not exactly the same as like the regular Nitro engine parts. All right, so we have a glow plug. This is a Type F glow plug, real rare. You probably could still get one of these, Wonder Bread goes, I'm sad too for you, but glad you invested in Nitro. Yeah, man, I realized pretty much any investment you do in real life in terms of speculation, on the open markets, whether it's a NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, the S&P, doesn't really matter. You're never really going to get anything based on your own knowledge. It's always going to be based on luck, because everyone that's using, let's say, modern AI trading software or financial arbitrage, the banks are always going to trick you. They're always going to trick you. That's why, if you've noticed in recent history, my dudes, the richer have become richer. Now, I used to believe that that's okay because of trickle down economics. But now, I mean, the element of how rich some people are with the ability of their, power to control markets is honestly very unfair. So at this point, the term wealthy and rich, that's not the same as the term, I think, in my opinion, that I grew up with, right? Today, if you're wealthy enough, you can BFF Trump right over there and open up fake government agencies and try to investigate people. That's what it's actually coming down to. All right, let's continue over here. So we have exhaust gasket. I'm just going over the list of parts that are very important. This is the carb insulator intake pipe assembly. Ray Coral, thank you, man, for that super chat. He goes, hello, Hybrid Nitro Queen and Sandy. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for stopping by today, supporting the channel. Without you guys, the financial industries will be destroying everybody's lives, okay? And in fact, mine as well. Back when I started making YouTube videos, I understood the right way to invest was here. Oh, speed gears, my bad, bro. Sorry. When I don't have the actual text, open on the screen, it's a little bit delayed on the device I'm using. But we got Speed Gears 1236, my dude. Say hello to him. He is a very valuable member, a veteran, and a good longtime friend of mine. In fact, Speed Gears, bro, I'm sorry, I got to get back to you on that cooling cat. I remember it was giving me nightmares. I forgot to get back to one of the Nitro Gang friends of mine. So I'll get back to you on that. Speed Gears is looking for a nice heatsink for the EK4. Philip Bender, what's going on, man? So everybody, say hello to our buddy Speed Gears. I remember when I first started streaming, he was a constant presence of good information and support on this channel. And overall, great member of the Nitro Gang group and person overall, right? What matters is you're a good person and you do what you can. Let's continue. All right, so I'm just going over some of these interesting parts that we have. But yes, Speed Gears, I'll get back to you on Facebook, man. Sorry, man, I haven't gotten back to you, but I know what our discussion was. All right, so let's continue. All right, so here is the assembly, right? What I'm trying to see, OS 4-stroke glow plug designed for these particular. Oh, we got Big Boys Toys all the way from Australia. What's up, man? Another great longtime viewer and friend of mine and VP of the Top RPM Gang. My dudes, this OS is not a very high RPM engine, guys. I'm going to be honest with you, it's a low RPM engine, but it's enough to go forward. I mean, I'm basically looking for the exploded parts views. Okay, so after this, we're going to start assembling, guys. I promise, all right? All right, so let me zoom in on this part. This part is basically what I was looking for in terms of the assembly. To see if there's any gaskets right here. So it looks like there's no gaskets between the valve cover and the head. All right, my dudes. If we're gasket free, I am problem free. Balls Mahoney, what's going on? Thank you, man. From Balls over there. He goes, brought the Rustler to work tonight to work on in the spirit of Nitro Gang Friday. And I don't feel like doing actual work. Bro, I feel like that all the time. Let's two-step some pan pizza. Bro, this week I had a Domino's large pizza. It was on sale, $6.99 for a large. You can't go wrong with that, dude. When the economy wants to throw you a deal, you say, hell yeah, economy. But when it wants to throw you a curveball, you know what you say? You say, I don't play baseball. You know why? We don't do curveballs here. That's why. All right? Anyways, I do like a good little softball or stickball game. If you grew up in, like, the inner hoods of New York, you would have played stickball. I don't know why we couldn't get baseballs, but we had sticks, I guess, from broomsticks, from getting chased around by people all day. And then you basically played stickball or kickball. That's what you played. All right. Anyway, so for those of you that are new here, we're just going through a bit of the exploded parts views on this engine, just to verify that, yes, we have legitimate valves. Welcome to the valve party. Anyway, really not much else to see here. Other than that, the exhaust is relatively unique. The crankshaft is still supported by dual ball bearings. And it just seems that we have a couple more parts over here, mainly for the valves, and there's also a timing piece right over there. So if I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, this is where this engine gets the timing. This piece 29. Real, real sickening in my opinion. All right, bros, let's get back to the actual chassis engine itself and dig in. All right. You guys like that little overview? That's why you need to have the manual when you're doing things. You know, when I first got into Nitro, to be honest with you guys, the very first manual I read, anybody here want to take a guess what it was? So special thanks to supporters and viewers out there. I appreciate that, guys. By the way, there's a sickening deal on eBay right now. One of my buddies knows what it is, but I'm probably not going to bid on it. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe, you know, the tides will turn. I don't know. Anyway, what was my very first manual that I read? Here's a little bit of hybrid nitro trivia. All right. Next level salvage goes HPI RS4. Very close, bro. Is the RS4 3 manual. It was actually the manual, obviously, to my very first nitro, which is that HPI 15 FE. Ray Coral goes, it was a Traxxas. So, unfortunately, I did not start with the Traxxas. I started with that particular RS43 RTR3 is what they're called. And honestly, if I read the Traxxas manual, I would have been as good, I think, in terms of information. They would have all been very, very, very correct. Today's manuals are basically equivalent to, let's say, a pot pie. Anybody here likes pot pie? I don't particularly like pot pie. They suck. All right. Terra goes, let's bid. I'm going to send you a bit of the link maybe later. In fact, maybe right now. Give me a second. I just want to give you a little bit of a view on what it is. I can't tell everybody because you understand how it goes. Let me send it to my buddy over here. So I'm already in a position where an offer could be made, but we're a little bit far away. It's not that far away though, but it's a little bit far away. All right, Tarek, I sent it to you on Facebook. Take a look. Let me know what you think. I can't say what it is because, well, it wouldn't be in my own best interest. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's continue, everybody. So, we got David Vidori. What's up, man? And Urban Legend RC. How you doing, man? Happy Friday to both of you guys out there. I know you guys are usually working on something interesting, and if you're not, you probably will be because it's Nitro or crawler or electric. We got to accept everybody weekend. Don't forget what it is. By the way, today was a holiday and a real particularly interesting holiday called Juneteenth. I honestly forgot what it's for, but I know it's for a good cause. Okay, don't want to say the wrong thing, but I know it's definitely for a good cause. I forgot what it was for, but somebody could definitely take a look. All right, Tarek, what do you think about that? Not that far away. It's actually very similar to the model I was building recently. You know what I'm saying? Can't give too much away, dude. All right, let's take a look. Tarek, appreciate that, bro. He goes, let's get it. All right, we're going to put together a sickening offer on that right after this. Appreciate that, Tarek. Hopefully, we'll see it on the table in about 6 days from now, depending if things go good or not. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's continue to this OS. Let me get the light on, and yeah, basically I just got to assemble it. So shout out to Tarek over here, longtime friend and supporter of mine. Just so you guys know, we all pretty much know each other in real life, and that invitation goes out to anybody here. I'm legitimately serious. If you guys have seen my video from, what was it, last week? It was a little bit of an older live stream. I re-edited it for a little bit better clarity because, like, you know, in terms of audio and stuff. But yeah, I have people visit me in real life at the RC track literally all the time. Well, not all the time, some of the time. People show up. I help them tune their nitro. Sometimes they bring a small grill. Sometimes they bring me some chicken and broccoli. It doesn't matter what they bring. They always bring the nitros. But like I said, everybody's always welcome. I really do appreciate the community of this channel. Hughes Hobbies, how you doing, man? Okay, so let's take a look at this one. I've cleaned it. For those of you that maybe didn't see, I'll demonstrate a little more specs on this. So we have valves. This is a single cylinder OS FS26 engine. Now, generally, these engines were not this model, but this style of engine has been popular in planes. Reason is they run at a relatively lower RPM. They develop some good low end power, but they don't really have much RPM on that segment, right? So if you were going to compare, let's say, the overall power output of a 4-stroke engine compared to a 2-stroke, I think all of us here know that a 2-stroke is obviously going to have a lot more power for the displacement. You know what I'm saying? Just because you have more power strokes. That's literally what it comes down to. Now, in this case, we have enough power because it's a 0.26. So, yes, the engine is literally giant. It's giant. My dudes, something's about to happen. Should I go to checkout on my offer right now? I'm going to do a quick little show for you. Hold on a second. I'm not going to show you what it actually is because, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Do you see what it says? Go to checkout on that offer. Wonder Bread, look at that price. Let me block it and pay. Hold on a second. I got to do it. My dudes, it ain't cheap. It ain't cheap, but it's worth it. What do you think about that? Hold on. Let me wait till it processes. I'll confirm that hybrid over here was not trolling you. My dude, what does that say right there? Wow. It's going to show up. So thank you for all that support, guys. Just so you know, all the donations here, yes, they get turned back into sickening nitros. Hell yeah to that. All right, it's going to be on the way. I'm not going to show what it is because who the hell knows. But when you see it, you will see it. Yes, the price was over $200. Not the cheapest used nitro I've ever bought. But you know what? The deals have really dried up on Facebook Marketplace, and I think I know why. You guys want to tell me why? Why have the deals dried up? I'm gonna type something in the chat over here. That's why. Balls, everybody, appreciate you. So yes, we got that on the way. It's actually, I believe, to be the historical the word historical is incorrect. Benjamin Bates, thank you, bro. He goes, that Super Nitro is so pretty. Well, bro, I'm gonna remove the body on this, and you're gonna be wild because this is actually a Super 10. At least the word is super is in it. But Benjamin Bates, I appreciate you, bro. We're gonna take a look at it later. It looks like a Super Nitro, but it's actually this is the car that the Super Nitro was based on. Okay, this is actually way, I would say 300% more sickening than the Super Nitro, believe it or not. Yes, but I'm sure you know what it is. It's just that I've had this on the channel earlier, and some of these bodies look the same. I have like a Super Nitro with the same. Oh yeah, these are HPI wheels. Damn, Benjamin Bates over here is freaking smart. I didn't even notice that. All right, but the car I just picked up, my dudes, it might actually be the legendary, historical, better version of that. Okay, it might be a Bowlink. I think the seller's description was incorrect. But I'll tell you something, homies. One thing that Hybrid has said that is always true. You want to know what it is? You can't kill an OS engine. And guess what? That sickening Nitro has an OS engine. That's why I decided to make that bid. So appreciate you guys. Hell yeah. RC Cape Cod, how you doing? Andrew Brown, how you doing, man? He goes R40. Now, this is not an R40. I have actually never had an R40 on, well, in my possession. I've had it on the channel. My friends have it, but I've never owned the R40 in general. Maybe one day I'll pick one up. All right, let's get down to the Strokes. Anybody here ever listened to the Strokes? It's a great band called, well, basically it's just called the Strokes. It's a very obvious name. James Simroth, how you doing, man? All right, so let me just show quickly how the valves and everything on here work, and then I'll begin assembling. To be honest with you, it's a little more complicated than a regular nitro engine. There's more particular gaskets here. So here are the valves, opening and closing. They do physically go up and down on the rockers. Obviously, when it's running, it will be really, really, really nice to see. I think I put out a short with these moving in slow motion. That was a proper short right there. All right, so timing on these things is controlled by a gear that's inside this mechanism. I didn't remove it, so I didn't completely disassemble this, but in terms of engine and everything, that's oiled up, ready to be assembled. Let's get to work, everybody. All right. Who here wants a quick look at just the chassis itself before I continue? Because once my hands are dirty, I don't want to be touching too many things. So for those of you out here that might have not remembered this, let's take a look at the Kyosho Super 10. What's up there, Andre Lise? How you doing, man? All right, Philip goes, let's see it. Let's do it. So it's a real proper Super 10 chassis. Now, personally, I like these more than the regular Super Nitro. Why? They have better suspension. They have better ride height. They have better looking parts in general. They have, well, this particular one has a 2-speed. I'm not sure if it was a 2-speed from the factory. Probably was. They have a real convenient battery style design, battery tray door. Check that out. That's convenient, guys. That's a proper design right there. You know, in a Super Nitro, you got like belt drive. This is a proper shaft drive chassis with real nice suspension, beefy parts. This is a proper vehicle. Now, this engine that we just have, the OSFS 26, is not the 100% original engine. There were models that were Kyosho 4-strokes from the factory. This is not one of them. But most people at the time, if you upgraded this, then what you were basically going for, you were going for realism, right? Today, a lot of Nitros, the realism basically ends at the body. During this time period, the realism started in the DNA. And by DNA, I mean low center of gravity, realistic engines, Nitros running rich and loud. The good old days. Although, you know, the term the good old days, not 100% accurate, because any day you're alive is a good old day, I will say. All right, let's get down to this particular engine. All right, so it's going to be a matter of what I want to assemble first. Internally, it's fairly clean. I think the first thing we should do is the back plate, right? Oh, Benjamin Bates goes, I'm going to turn my Super Nitro Rally into a 9-scale touring car. That's highly possible, dude. That is highly possible. You know, today, there's pretty much no larger on-road cars that are, like, not pan cars. I would say the Serpent SRX-8, which I put a link for, I think, in this video, is probably the last available one that there is, right, for a fair price. Okay, backplate is pretty much very, very basic. I noticed a little bit of grinding there in the backplate. Hopefully, it doesn't get any worse. Now, the real question here is, I think this engine was probably disassembled before I got it, so there was no gasket here. I think I'm going to just do a quick little gasket here, and then we'll put the backplate on and move on, bros, okay? All right. Feel free to chat here in the stream. I did say RC open chat, so everybody, don't be shy. I need to buy a new tube, one of these, because it's really, really, really drying up. Ah, yeah, we got some. All right, let's do this. I'm going to degrease it slightly. And just going to put a little bit of silicone on there. Speed Freak, what's up, man? Happy Friday to you, and that goes out to the rest of you, bros. I'm not 100% sure if you need a gasket on this, and the manual didn't really show anything. In fact, you know what? I should probably look at the manual again. Okay, I'm looking at the manual. There's nothing there, but who knows? Maybe they just didn't display it. Is that possible? It might be possible. We're going to do a thin one anyway, so. All right, so this particular one is for there is no. Oh, which position was this? I think this was facing right, this little cover. Although it really doesn't matter which way it faces because there's no cutout for a cylinder here, so for a piston rather. You know what? I should probably take a look at the picture of what this looked like before. What do you guys think? Let me find my old stream. I actually should probably find, let's see, OS engine. All right, I found the old stream. Let me do a quickie on the old stream. I need to see which position this little nub was before I removed it. Very, very important. You could easily make a small mistake like that, and then you ain't going to be having a good time. All right, so I got my old stream open here. Give me a second, guys. Almost there. All right. I found the answer, bros. I found the answer. I was correct. Check this out. This is the old stream on this when I was disassembling it. You see that little nub? It should be, well, basically pointing towards Florida. Southeast. Gotta go southeast, baby. I wasn't that far off. Okay. So that nub goes southeast. Damn, this thing is stuck. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this. All right, I'm gonna just do a little bit, however I can. Oscar Quendo, what's going on, man? Thank you for checking out the stream. Oscar Quendo, guy, a longtime friend of mine, also came to the RC track a few times. Goes, happy Friday, Nitro. Just received the Traxxas Nitro Rustler with the OS 21 engine. I'm going to post it on Facebook. Oh, that's going to be exciting. If you guys don't know, Oscar Quendo, good friend of mine, been in a couple videos of mine, also has donated a couple sickening nitros to the channel. In fact, this week, a video with the Schumacher Menace 21 is coming out. That was his vehicle. So hell yeah to Oscar, who also makes sure to burn nitro on his lunch break every single day. With really good video. I don't know how effective I'm going to be at this. I have like a tiny little piece of this. But I guess it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be too good. Let's do a little more. I don't feel safe with such a small amount. You know, there's something about gaskets. Gaskets go together like certain things in life. Personally, I like to see a proper gasket on things. So hell yeah to Oscar. By the way, let me let this sit a second. I might have a special little picture up. Hold on a second. Let me see which computer this is. You guys might not know, but I rotate like 5 Mac computers. And one of them has a sickening picture for inspiration. Okay, it's not the right picture. It's the wrong computer, bro. Sorry about that. I had a picture of Oscar's Savage throwing up some sand at the RC track. But that's another computer. I'll have to show it another time. All right. It always helps to look at other people's sickening RCs to motivate yourself. All right. So I'm putting on the back plate right now. If Melissa wasn't on the phone with, like, I think her mom or something, I would ask her to bring the computer. But, you know, that's going to be a fight. I could say that because, like, I can guarantee you she's not listening. David, how you doing there, David? Okay, and we'll get the screws in. Question is, which screws Or these. I think it's going to be the flat screws. Yeah, it's probably going to be... You know what? I forgot which screws they are. It's probably going to be these screws. The destroyed ones that I had to like Dremel. It's probably going to be these. If you guys want to see that picture, I could probably go upstairs and get it, but it's going to be a lot of walking. Oh, Melissa's in some kind of passionate conversation with a family member. I think they're discussing why a pool is leaking water. I pretty much told her there's one reason why pools leak water. It's called a hole. Who here agrees? I mean, that's pretty much only one reason. You got a leak. If you got a pool and your pool leaks water, I told her, you got to have pool money. Otherwise, you're going to have hole money. You know what I'm saying? That's honestly the truth right there. But like I said, guys, tomorrow or Sunday will be Oscar Quendo's donated Nitro to the channel. Actually, I've had it for quite some time. There's a couple things wrong with it, but I did get it to hit the 3-speed baby. But yeah, Melissa's over there debating on why her family member's pool is leaking. I told her it's pretty much only one reason. It's called you got a hole. Personally, I think humans meant to swim in the ocean. Where I come from, nobody had pools. You know what they had? Bathtubs and problems with the government. That's what they had. Sickening. All right, should be good. Let me just make sure it still spins. Okay, it spins fine. All right. Now, next up, I'm going to put it on the table now, actually, make it a little bit easier to view for us. How you guys like the hybrid commentary? Not all of it makes sense. I never said all of it was logical, but it's mostly true. You know what I'm saying? If you got a pool, you got to have pool problem money. You know what pool problem money is? It's called your monthly paycheck. Melissa talking on the phone. That's why she's not chatting right now, guys. But don't worry, I'll make sure to remind her in a little bit. Oh shit, she's here. Yo, Melissa, why are you multitasking? Talk on the phone. This is my crew over here. Joking around, bros. I'm joking around. Just playing, having a good time. All right. Next up, I have a couple options. We can do the carb. We can do the glow plug or the valve cover. I think in terms of what's easy, it's probably going to be valve cover and glow plug. What do you guys think? Or glow plug? What do you think? Glow plug? Yeah. When you got pool problems, it's called your entire paycheck, and that's if you're gainfully employed. That's why Wonder Bread, she's going to let me have it after. Big Boys Toys, you correct. All right, David goes do the plug. I suggest let's do the plug. All right, I'm going to check the plug first because this is a really rare plug. All right, let's do a quick check of the plug. So this is what they call an OSF type plug. It's not like a regular plug. You could tell it's much, much longer to extend down to the combustion chamber. Let's just make sure that it... All right, well, it's red. That's a positive thing. All right, let's get the gasket and turn it in. All right, should be okay. I'm not too happy with this gasket, but we'll see how it is after. You know what? Let's put a couple drops. I don't remember if I put any oil in the top over here. I probably did. All right, that should be safe. You always want to get oiled. All right, feels good. Lucas, how you doing there, Lucas? Welcome. For those of you just joining, let me give a little narrative, guys. This is the OS FS26, the four-stroke engine from that Kyosho Super 10 that I removed. Man, it must have been over like a good year ago. All right. That's enough. Not going too crazy tight. And next thing, let's do the valve cover, and then we'll do the carb. The carb is a little bit more complicated because we have the insulator gasket. Let me get set up over here, guys. All right. Oh, it's a sweaty day today. I had Popeyes for dinner. I don't know if you ever had Popeyes for dinner, but you always got to make sure that they cook their chicken. Let me tell you something. I think this time they overcooked their chicken. Can't get a proper chicken anymore. All right. So the next question is, does the valve need sealer? It appears based on the manual that it does not. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to clean it really nicely. Make sure there's no oils on it. It's just a plastic cover. It's not metal. So who knows? Maybe it doesn't need it. Oh yeah. Big Boy's Toys. I can go for some chicken, trust me. All right. So the cover is going to go this way. Let me lower this a little bit. All right, so the cover is going to be facing this way. And you know what? I should probably check my old stream again to see how the engine was before I remove the cover. All right, so the tall part, that's interesting. Hold on a second. This can't be. Is this how it is? Yeah, it's correct. It's correct, guys. I just checked my old stream. It's correct. The tall OS part, because basically the profile is unique. You need to accommodate the valves towards the back. All right. So let's screw it in, guys. It's just 2 screws. I'm not going to put sealer on it unless someone here really wants me to put sealer on it. Go ahead. Should we get a vote going? Seal this SOB or not seal this SOB? Who wants to seal this SOB? Yeah, Monty goes, if it doesn't show it, I wouldn't. Now, I'm not totally sure because there's no like paper gasket, right? People over the years might have used the silicone, like in a car. All right, let's just keep going. I don't think it needs it. So let's screw it in. Now, to be honest with you, I forgot which screws go where. I have 2 different types of screws over here. And there's 2 long ones and 2 short ones. 2 of them are obviously for the carb, and 2 of them are for, you know what? Let me see which ones are for the carb. Okay, so the carb would go in like, here's the carb mount. I got to think which one's going where. You know what? We might have to start measuring. I got 2 different screws. Rustic RC goes, hybrid, does that glow plug need to do crush washer? It most certainly probably will, but it'll still fire up for like a little test start, worst case scenario. But I would say yes, a new glow plug, a new washer is probably not a bad idea. Now, which screws go in where? Maybe I might be able to tell from the manual. Hold on a second. It will tell me which screws. Okay. 6x12. I'm just looking at the screws. Hold on a second. 6x8. All right, bros. Problem solved on the manual. Let me show you what I mean. Let me show you. You're going to enjoy this one. So the question was, out of the 2 screws, where do the long ones go? Now notice over here, for the valve cover, 6x12. So, and on the carb right there, it says 6x8. So the carb uses the two shorter screws, and the valve cover uses the two longer screws. That right there is a great discovery. So let's go with the valve cover first with the long screws. Makes sense, my logic? I think it makes sense. All right, so two long screws over there. All right, yeah, most likely you don't need to seal it. I see you guys are saying you don't really need to seal it, which makes sense, yeah. I mean, if there's any kind of leak, it's literally super easy to fix this. It's like accessible through the top of the car. It's not a big deal, really. All right, Roderick, how you doing? Let me see what Roderick here says. The OS, the cover is on backwards. Let's check. I can check again, bro. Hold on. In this particular example, Roderick seems to be correct. You know what? I'm going to have to find another picture of this. Hold on a second. Roderick might be correct over here. He said the valve cover is on backwards. All right. Is this a typo in the picture? All right. So, yeah, I see Roderick says, look at the picture. So I pulled up the picture on the front cover, right, of the manual. Yeah, in this case, the OS is pointed towards the crankshaft. I don't know if that's actually how it's supposed to be, guys. We need to find another picture of this installed in something. I had a magazine with this, but yeah, it appears that this is actually incorrect. All right, Carlos goes, it's on backwards. All right, so the way I have it right now, the OS is not pointing towards the crankshaft; it's pointing backwards. So, all right, let's make it look like it looks here, right? What do you guys say? Vote. So you know what? It was reversed in when I first got it. Wow, it was reversed when I first got it. That's what it means. I don't know how else to explain it. Let me check real quick on my old stream. All right, so this is back when it was assembled. Check this out. This is the stream from the video before I removed it. Yeah, you could tell it was misassembled. That's a massive viewer discovery. I appreciate you guys. So the OS was facing a glow plug, but it's actually supposed to be facing the other way. That's a mystery and a half right there. All right, let's go to the picture with the screws again. Let me scroll back down. Yeah, over here, it's definitely this OS logo is facing the crankshaft. Let's go back to Exploder Parts views. This is a sickening discovery. All right, so right here, the OS is definitely facing away. Yeah, it's definitely facing towards the crankshaft. Huh. Rory goes super sickening. I'm blown away right now. So you're telling me this was actually misassembled already to begin with? That's a little tough to believe, honestly, but it seems that that's you know what? I need to find another picture of this thing assembled. Let me remove this for a hot minute. Rory, can you believe that, everybody? Good thing we have some genuinely genius and helpful viewers in here. It appears that it's the wrong direction. Crazy man, how you doing? It goes, do you need to do valve adjustments on these? So, from what I've read, it appears no. Okay, so let me get in close on this. I'll put it on. We might have to do an examination of how the valves move, but it appears. I mean, in my opinion, the race part is for the valves, But is it possible this actually goes higher? It seems that it fits either way. All right, if I spin this over, right, I'm going to spin over. Well, now that I have to loosen the glow plug now because I can't spin it over easily because now we have compression. Ugh. And here I thought this was going to be a piece of cake job. All right. So let me lower this and we can see the heights. Basically, we're measuring the height of left versus right. So it appears, yep. It appears certainly this should be the higher portion. Right. Yeah, it appears that this portion, where the push rods are, does in fact go higher than this portion. So, good eye, everybody. Good eye, good observation. It was definitely misassembled. Holy sickeningly hell. It was definitely misassembled, everybody. What do you think about that? Right, people wanted me to look inside to see if there's marks. All right, so I'm looking inside. I mean, not really. There's no marks, so I guess it wasn't enough to cause marks. It looks pretty solid on the inside. Yeah, Rory Hollow goes, we all learned something outstanding. Bro, can't believe it. We definitely did learn something. All right, so now we'll put the OS in this direction. But yeah, it wasn't enough to hit it, I'm assuming. A pretty interesting little discovery there. Yes, another little step of, let's say, complexity, right? Every little step of complexity, you could have a situation. What's up, Melissa? Did you come here to give me a little ice pop? No. Then what are you doing? I would really appreciate an ice pop right now. It's hot as hell out down here. No, it isn't. Did you bring me a note? Yes. She brought me a note, everybody. Just don't show it. Oh, you want me not to show it? I got no secrets. I do. All right. It looks to be correctly assembled now. All right, what is it? Okay, I'm going to have to vote on that one. Okay, I'll let you know later, boo. I'll let you know later, all right? But I'm over here with the Nitro gang, Melissa. We busy.
But.
What? Yes?
I'm in an excuse not to go.
Okay, make more excuses. We need more excuses. Thanks. Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
But what's the answer going to be?
It's going to be a no.
Okay.
You know why? Because tell them the Nitro gang is busy Sunday. The Nitro gang has a plan to do speed runs Sunday morning. Okay? My dudes, that's what you tell them. Tell them,
no.
Hybrid busy, he got speed runs happening. No, tell him he got viewers from Connecticut coming down to the RC track with a sickening vintage Nitro. They got to do some fact checking. Dana, how you doing there, Dana?
No, I'm in an excuse not to go.
Okay, good. All right, bros. So we're going to leave it at that. Let's get down to the carb. Sickening. I hope I don't find any more problems. Where did this O-ring go from? No, this O-ring is probably not from this car. All right, so the next thing is the carb. So it's a pretty rare, it's called a 20P carb. Not like the regular OS carbs. It is rotary. Please don't be jammed. Okay, yeah. Oh, thank God it's not jammed. All right, so it's a rotary carb. Unique feature is this carb insulator system. Not bad. Let's get her on. I just got to once again look at the picture of how it should be assembled. Can't believe it. The picture saved our life today. All right. Oh, man, I need my own picture. Okay. All right, so it's supposed to sit like this. The high-speed needle is supposed to be up. That's how it sits, like this. All right, so the thing is, normally I would like some gasket maker material, but in this case, they only really use this carb insulator, which is a piece of little fiberglass. Oh, Dark Child over there from Connecticut. Well, you're welcome to show up on Sunday as well, bro. It's going to be a long drive, though, but, you know, I'll be there this Sunday. Shout out to Connecticut, part of the tri-state area. Or is it the quad state area? Was it the Pentagon state? Kidding around. All right. David goes, where is this RC track, bro? It's basically where I do a lot of my streams outside. If you look up Staten Island, New York, Midland Beach, it's basically a free public parking lot. Right now, there's a bit of a parking issue, so I would not recommend you go this week, okay? Because they're going to make you walk. If you saw my Primal Challenger video, you would know what I'm talking about. Okay. I got to work faster, bros. Chit-chatting for a little too long over here. All right, so we got the carb insulator. Let's get her on. All right, this is basically the assembly. I'm going to put it in the car real quick. If things go well, might be a fire in the hole. All right, I'm not going to do crazy tight on this. All right, just a normal amount tightness. And I think that's about it, bros. That's the 4-stroke baby. Oh, man. Dark Child goes, I have a Schumacher Fusion 28, still looks new. Fastest I pushed it was 70. That's a proper vehicle, dude. That's a proper vehicle. This week will be a Menace 21 video. It's basically the same car, except the Fusion is, well, the 28 is obviously a better engine. But yeah, what I like about those Schumachers is the transmissions. They are really not adjustable. They have springs that are controlling when your transmission is shifting. It's actually pretty foolproof. That way you can't have a wrong shift point. You know what I'm saying? All right, bros. So I have the linkage, and I think this is from something else. This is not from this car. I was probably just putting here on a plate. I don't know what that's for. All right. Engine is assembled. Let's stick it in back into the Kyosho. And, this still needs, obviously, electronics and everything. I don't know. Recently, I've had, like, a bad run of just bad fly sky receivers in some of my cars. In fact, there might be a Schumacher Fusion in a box somewhere near me right now. But that's top secret type stuff. Top secret. Oh, Big Boys Toys, congratulations. I just saw your message right here. If you want, I could show the viewers what you just picked up if you want, but only if you, say yes. Otherwise, I don't want to share nothing, but, it's basically an eBay engine. Duran Chase, how you doing, man? Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, we try, bro. We try. Back when I started doing this stuff, I just like to run rich and loud. Actually, that has never, ever changed. My favorite part was laying down a line of rich exhaust. All right, so we're going to take a look at the engine our channel member, viewer, and friend, Big Boys Toys here, just purchased. It's a public listing, so nothing exciting in terms of personal information or nothing. Let's take a look at it. Wow, this is sickening. When people buy engines, I get excited. Let's take a look. We'll do a little analysis on this. So it's an OS 9-port on-road, hand-modified by Kalari. Sick. Let's take a look at the pictures. That's a proper on-road high RPM beast. Oh, yeah. Look at that inscription there of Kalari. Carb is well protected. Nice fins on the heatsink, on the crankcase, rather. Oh, look at that cooling head. That's drilled real nice. That's going to have some proper airflow. The more holes you got, the better you're doing in the Nitro life, usually. That's kind of how it works. You want to have those holes. It's a proper looking engine. Was that a 3-needle carb? Yep, 3-needle carb. So low speed, high speed, and mid speed. That's a proper. Look at this pinch bolt. This pinch bolt looks larger than I've normally seen. I don't think I've seen that before. Must be some intricate design. Just doing a little bit of a viewer engine checkout from our friend, Big Boys Toys. Oh, man. Check out that crank over there. Forgot what that's called. What is that called? Sealed? No, it's not called sealed. Balanced. Usually they put some kind of putty or epoxy over here to balance it and to make for very good airflow going down. Otherwise, you get a lot of turbulence. Forgot what the correct term for this is, but that's a proper looking crank. I'm just going to point out some of the obvious things I see. Piston got ports for days. That's a proper looking engine for sure. Ported. I might have mispronounced it. Not potted. Ported. P-O-R-T. Oh, man. This thing is fangs like a vampire. I'm going to watch True Blood after this. Okay, Ryan goes with the stuffed crank. Yes, the correct term, Ryan Bollinger. I appreciate that. I forgot what it's called. I don't normally have a lot of modified engines on this channel. It's called a stuffed crank. You see right there? They basically stuff it with some kind of putty or epoxy, and it hardens and it provides for much better airflow because the airflow will be entering from this position, from the carb down through the crank. So stuffed crank. Man, I feel like a little bit of a Taco Bell trying to get right now. There's a lot of good pictures. It's not easy to get pictures this good of a used engine. It's not easy to get pictures like this at all. Proper engine. Oh man, look at that. Crankshaft. It appears that what are those balancing weights? Yeah, could also be called ramped, goes Dana. Ramped also is another term. What are these drilled areas for weight balance? For balancing, I'm assuming. It's a proper OS engine. Congratulations, Big Boys Toys. I'm sure we're going to hear it on his channel, running rich and loud real soon, and revving real high as well. So, hell yeah to that. It's a proper engine. Yeah, those engines don't go cheap. All right, guys. Counterweight goes Dana. Yes, the counterweight. Proper engine, people be saying. All right. Let's get it in. I gotta rush, my dudes. I don't know. I might go for a test start today. Let me just spin it over. I'm gonna feel the compression a little bit, just like how it feels. It feels pretty sickening, honestly. This feels like the compression of a big block. It doesn't feel weak at all. It feels proper. All right, let's get the engine in. I don't have electronics set up, but if things go well, if you guys want, we might have a runner tonight. I just don't really remember how this goes, but it doesn't matter. I just need this to be closed for today's video anyway, so it doesn't matter. I just need it to be installed. Doesn't have to be perfect. The brake cam is over here, but I don't even have to do that really. Either way, I don't have the electronics in it, so what's the difference? All right. I'll take a look at the linkage in a little bit. Kind of forgot how it's supposed to go, but once I bolt it in, it'll make sense. All right, guys. Let's get the screws in. Yeah, we need an air filter too. But air filter, carb sits pretty high up, so probably not gonna nothing crazy. All right, Ben goes. It looks sickening. Notice all of the drilled holes over here. Oh my god, that's gonna be a holy nightmare. Get it? Holy nightmare. Holy nightmare. there might be some. I'm going to do this one over here. Yeah, these might not have very high compression. It is a 4-stroke engine. Good point on that one, Dana. The only reason I'm mentioning compression is just to see how it feels, like by turning it by hand. Obviously, it's packed full of oil right now too, so once the oil burns up, we'll have a much better understanding of what the true compression actually is. Hold on a second. Is this the wrong screw? This screw doesn't go in all the way. All right, I'm gonna have to use. This screw doesn't go in all the way. Okay, I get it. We have to swap screws. The long screw goes on another side. All right, we have to swap screws. The way the engine mount is designed is how it needs to be. Holy moly. Dana goes, that RC is almost like brand new. I got this particular one a while back from a real lover and collector of Kyosho models. Almost all of the Kyoshos on this channel recently, including the Blizzard, they came from the same person. All right, let me just make sure we're okay with the mesh. All right, mesh looks normal. All right, looks normal. Let's tie her in. It might change a little bit. Okay, it still spins okay. Yeah, these Super 10s, sometimes you will come across James Duranto. What's up, bro? Happy Friday to you. You're just in time. I am about ready in a minute. Actually, well, more like 5 minutes. We're going to do a first ever fire up on this. Ever. I've never had this running. All right, gear mesh seems to be okay. Let me just show you. All right, it's spinning. And it's pretty smooth. All right, it's pretty smooth. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything crazy on this. Let's get the carb to kind of its idle position. I have the brake cam removed. What do you guys think? Install the brake cam for now? I mean, it doesn't matter. The electronics are not in it anyway, so. All right, so we need this to be at idle. Let me just do this real quick over here. Don't you love when someone says real quick? And things are never real quick. Things are usually pretty much actually the same exact rate. Real quick. More like real fake. All right. So since electronics are not connected, it doesn't really matter which position I put this in. I just need the carb to be kind of closed. I think it's going to be this position. All right, we'll check it once I install it a little bit better. How does this go in? I forgot. All right. So we're going to do, I think, does anybody remember how this goes in? Okay, I got this wrong. Okay, so I think this goes in. I got to take a look at my own old video again. All right, I got the video right here. All right, so on the link on the video, hold on a second. This is all wrong. This right here is all wrong. Let me do a zoom in on this so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm looking at the old installation video that I had, not installation, but the old stream. All right, so this goes, it's in this position. And it's almost like this, basically. The reason I'm doing this just so I don't have to redo the linkage. Let me zoom out. And this portion will sit from the bottom. James Duranto, thank you, bro. He goes, hybrid, you're the best. I try, man. I think we're all best, but some are the best. I'm kidding around. We're all very good. Thank you, man. James Duranto, I appreciate that. I don't know why I can't do a proper video view right now. Hell yeah to James. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about on this particular setup, okay? Hold on a second. All right, so this is what I'm trying to copy right here. This is the old, this is how it was assembled before I removed the linkages. Y'all see that? So servo horn, the brake linkage was on the bottom going to the right side over there. All right, so I'm basically just gonna copy that. The reason is if I put electronics in it like soon, I don't want to make a mistake and have things go haywire on me. So hell yeah to James Durant, to all of you guys out there, appreciate that, man. By the way, James, you missed. I bought an eBay during this live stream. I bought it. I meant I bought an eBay Nitro during this live stream, bro. I bought a Nitro on eBay. I said it right correctly. If you guys want, maybe I will show what it is, but maybe it'll be a surprise. But basically paid, what did I pay? 230 or something for a total? Or 240? Basically not cheap. But we did pick up a sickening Nitro on this channel during the stream a little bit earlier. Let me see if we can have the confirmation. Oh, for those of you that didn't see, if you want, I can give you a quick little view of it right now because I already basically paid for it. So pretty much ain't nobody gonna bid snipe me anymore. You all want to see it? Go ahead. Tell me what you think. I have it pulled up right now. I have it pulled up right now on the screen, bros. Go ahead. You want to see it? So pretty much up there in money. This stream ain't never gonna make that money back, but it's okay. It's no big deal. All right, bros. I'm gonna show you just cause you all's dope. All right, so you see right there, it says you bought this item. Wow. Nitro Boss, we bought this just now. So the guy did accept a slightly lower offer, which is real nice. And now nobody could trick me on this one. Now I know it looks like crap. Lotus, how you doing there, Lotus, man? I gotta go check out Lotus's new video, bro. Sorry, I've been a little bit busy. But shout out to our awesome channel mod, Lotus RC. We just bought this during the stream. So let's do a couple picture views and we'll go through it now because I already bought it. So with special help from Tarek and everybody here, of course. All right, the body's real toast, but it's like a NASCAR. You want it to be toast. You know what I'm saying? It's period correct. But this is the car we just, well, more like I just bought, bros. All right. This is actually an older version of the RJ Speed, I think, but not the brand is not RJ Speed. All right. Here's the internals, my dudes. We got an OS that appears to be a 12 CVR. This cooling head, unless it's a CV with an upgrade head, it might be a CV. I don't know. RC Madness goes NASCAR. Hell yeah. What I like about this, and you guys might remember, that's right, James goes Kyle Busch. RIP, I know. Compared to the RJ Speed that I built, this is like legit way better. We have a bumper. We have what appears to be, normal wishbone suspension in the front. We have a muffler that is something I've never seen before. Let me go to a couple other pictures. I'm not going to get too crazy into it, but obviously it's not like a touring car. This is still kind of a old school drag type build with what you could tell to be a lot of custom work and a fuel tank from a completely different model, an associated fuel tank. But engine, I think, is going to be good. How do I know? Because, well, there's a fuel filter, and these also have their own fuel filter. So unless, I'm wrong, it's probably going to be, check out that rear end. Yeah, Big Boy Stories goes, it's an oval car, highly possible. Now, unlike on my RJ Speed, where all of this is basically terrible and plastic and not good, on this one, I mean, it's all basically CNC aluminum on this one. I mean, yes, it's still like a solid axle. There's no diffs or nothing, but the carb high-speed needle looks proper. Single speed. Cooling head looks normal. This is like the upgrade OS cooling head, I think. Let's go take a look at the rest of the pictures. I mean, I'm just giving you a quick little... I've never seen a muffler like this in my life. In terms of here, it has like a similar style of brake as the RJ. We have like the band brake. But it's obviously an old chassis. Check out that band brake. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I wouldn't say it's the cheapest car. I'm on the paying like a little over $230 for it, I think, after shipping. No, after tax. So not the cheapest car, but old school electronics. That's a synthesized FM receiver. Single shock in the middle, which is already light years ahead of the RJ Speed. The RJ has no shocks. I mean, you know, it's an old car, but I think it'll be a fun little channel car. You know what I'm saying? We got adjustable gear mesh. Spur gear is not toast. The wheels look okay. It has hints of like oval racing. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys think? Hell yeah, or hell, let's go back. Well, I already paid for it, so gonna be on the channel hopefully soon. All right, let's get back to this one. Wasn't gonna buy it, but I was highly motivated by the OS and some of the channel support over here, so I appreciate that, guys. All right, let me get this linkage installed. So this would go in the bottom. What I forgot is which way this goes. I'm thinking probably like this. Hold on a second. I'm trying to mimic my old video. All right, so this goes through the bottom. All right, got it. Got it, guys. All right, so this thing goes through the bottom like that, and then this goes to a different side, like this. Almost done, homies. Almost done. What do you guys think? That Nitro worth saving? I don't like this linkage setup. It's actually real not good. I'm gonna have to work on this linkage setup, guys. There's something not very good about this linkage. All right, so that's how it goes, basically. Let me demonstrate to you why I am not happy with this linkage. All right, so we got the car assembled for the servo horn. Let me just open up the carb a little bit, see what happens with this. So it's never a good idea to have the brake rod on the same exact part of the servo horn as the throttle. It's not good. Okay, so this is like full throttle. That can't be. Hold on a second. How is this supposed to be? Hold on a second. In this position, the carb is fully open. You see what I'm talking about? In this position, there's definitely something wrong with this linkage. All right, so it doesn't close this way. It would close the other way. But it can't close that way because the shock tower is in the way with this rod. I gotta think. What's up there, WBL? How you doing there, man? So how is this supposed to actually open and close? Was the linkage wrong the whole time? Huh. Anybody got any ideas? How is this supposed to be? All right, I'm thinking we need to remove the entire linkage set and redo all of it. All right, I'm thinking we got to redo all this. I can't fire it up with the carb open like that. It's not gonna happen. Safety is what we want. We're not an American Airlines flight. Trying to remove the. Actually, no. You know what? I'm gonna leave this. Why can't I close this carb? All right. All right. Now it's closed. There's something up with this linkage. That can't be. Can't get this carb to open correctly. Okay, Terra goes, is the carb mounted in the correct location? It's exactly how it was when I removed it. I'm literally looking at the picture. There's only two ways to mount it. It's either high-speed needle pointing up or high-speed needle pointing down. Gotta think about this one. What I could do is remove. Well, you see right here? It's like in the way. No matter what you do, let me do a quick zoom in. So right now the carb is closed. If I open it this direction, it's obviously hitting this shock tower. How's that gonna... All right, I'm thinking, everybody. I don't want to remove this rod because this throttle arm is a little bit of fragile in this area. It's actually quite fragile. Let me see what you guys are saying. What I could do is just remove this portion. All right, we're gonna have to. That might. Let's hope. Nitro Racing Power and Tim, how you doing there, Tim? Great owner of We Are RC Hobby Stores. Happy to see you here, man. You joined just in time. I'm over here struggling with old linkages, and by struggle I mean real struggle. Not like some people really struggle. This is like a mundane struggle. It's not like a lifetime struggle, but it's not like it's not like you were, Sylvester Stallone or something. But oh, Popester, how you doing there, man? Popester goes. Hold on a second. I can't see the stream chat. The chat for some reason is not like uploading. But shout out to our buddy Tim over here. If I rotate the carb, like this is how it was installed. I'm gonna show you guys right now. Like that's how it was installed before I removed it. Like that means it was installed wrong. Look, this is how it was when I removed it. You see that right there? It was pointing up. The high-speed needle was pointing up, this portion. Well, I got to think of how to install this carb correctly now. This does not rotate. All right, we're going to have to remove the carb. Let's remove the carb and see what we can make happen. I'm trying to fire this up, bros, and this thing is fighting me. Let's just undo the carb. I'll see what I can make happen. I didn't think it would get this bad. Well, at least I can access the carb without really removing the engine. The screws, rather, That's already a positive. Yeah, low just goes, you got to rotate the linkage. Let's see if that'll happen. Yeah, this is definitely the correct position of the carb. But what I was worried about, like this is installed not very well. If you're not really careful with this part, it will break off through the throttle arm. So what I could do now is maybe just remove it and redo it later. Okay, so if I have it this way, it won't work. It can only be this way or this way. That's the problem. The carb has to sit this way. The way the linkage is, it has to sit in this position. Like it has to be in this position. But why is this thing all not good? All right. Poster goes, can you rotate the carb itself? I'm thinking about that right now. So I'm thinking, is it possible if I rotate it simply with this pinch bolt? But which way? All right, let's rotate it by moving this. All right, let's rotate it like here. I'm going to try to undo that. But that's how it was installed. That's the weird part. It was installed like that. And the guy I bought it from, I have 100% trust in that he knew what he was doing. I'm going to rotate this a little bit. Yeah, the Z bend could also be the wrong way. So there's really no reason I have to rotate the carb, to be honest with you. The Z bend is probably the wrong way. All right, how about this? I'm going to remove this for now. This whole linkage is not good. All right, I removed like the Z linkage, and now we're basically at that position. So that's our idle. I'm going to try with this idle, and I'll just put a rubber band on it for now, and I'll move on to the linkage later on, I think. There's definitely some kind of thing going on here with a Z. So I can possibly move this carb like this. All right, let's try to do a quick little rotation. I'm not going to do too much. I just want to see if it'll rotate at all. Maybe this would have been better to do on the engine installed. Okay, that bolt, I cannot even get it to budge. It's too tight. It's very, very tight. And these are proper pliers over here, actually. Nope, not moving at all. It's going to have to get heated up crazy. All right, so the link arm could be rotated normally with this screw. So let me see how this is going to go in. All right, so the problem is the link arm sits all the way at the bottom. The way it moves is like this, right? So if this is the factory position, it's already too close to that edge. So if I moved it a lot more this way, the servo might not have space to move. So the problem is my normal socket set broke. That's why I'm struggling over here. I can get a better tool if you guys want me to do it. You want me to go get some better tools? All right, JP, how you doing? What time is it? What? I don't know yet. All right, bros, I'm back. Man, this thing is really fighting me. Really fighting. Your boy Hybrid over here today. Yeah, speed free goes, those bolts are usually really, really tight. That's what I'm noticing right now. Let me just see which one of these fits. Okay, we got one. 6mm. You guys thought Hybrid don't have tools? I got tools, I just didn't want to get them. All right. Turn, baby. Turn. Done. All right, turn it a little bit. Let's see if I could rotate it. Now, since it was positioned this way, I'm going to say we're going to rotate it this way. Well, of course, that's tight too. Well, I can't even rotate that. See that? Now this is stuck. Can't rotate it. All right, I'm going to put it back for now and just assemble it how it is. And just try it without the linkage. Because all this needs to probably be heated up I can't even get it to rotate right now. All right, if you guys want me to try it again, I could try it again. I normally know the whole tapping on the nut thing, but I didn't really want to have to do it in this case. All right, so I got it out a good amount. Let's tap on it. We're gonna bum the pitch bolt. Goes JP. Let's bump it. It might be enough, might not be enough. Yeah, it's not enough. It's can't even get it to move a little bit. I mean, I'm bumping it. I don't think it would need more than that. This needs to like be heated up, bros. It ain't gonna work. It needs to be heated up. Cannot move it at all. All right, you know what? For now, just for now, I'm gonna put it back, and I'll have to do this later. Either way, it needs electronics, so I'm gonna have to remove the carb anyway. Not a big deal. I'll figure this out. It's just like a mini mechanical issue. But what I want to do, let's just assemble it back, see if it fires up. What do you guys say? Do we want to fire in a hole? I'm not too worried about the linkage right now. I'm gonna have to probably clean the carb anyway. Let me see if the carb actually passes air through it first before I do anything. Because you put this on and it's clogged, it ain't gonna be good. Let me just see. Make sure it ain't clogged. Yeah, it's definitely not clogged. The carb is in really good condition. It's flowing air normal. Right, you know what? I'm just gonna assemble it. Maybe move the Z-bend a little. I'm gonna figure out the linkage later on. I'm not too worried about the linkage. As of right now, I just need to basically just see if it fires up. But, I mean, found so far a couple misassembled components. So far. Let's see what you guys say. Yeah, this car hasn't moved for a while. As you could tell, the tires are like basically fully dry rotted. So it'll fire up, I think. Let's just see how it goes. I don't need the linkage to be perfect right now. I just need to make sure that it at least flows fuel, and that's basically I'll be okay for that. Oh, we got Wonder Bread messing around with the Nitro Stampede. That's a sick chassis right there. I'm gonna leave this how it is for now. Let me just get over to the exhaust. All right. So what matters is that I'm at idle, basically. Yeah, this whole setting. Check this out. You see right here? I'm gonna show you what I mean. This is throttle arm. Do you notice that no matter what you do, it's hitting the shock tower? Like this whole linkage was incorrect. No matter how you look at it, it's just incorrect. So all of this is going to need adjustments. Doesn't matter. All right, so I'm going to have the carb at basically idle right now. You could take a look right there. It's idle. I'm not sure if these are supposed to have like a big idle or a low idle. I could probably check the manual, but what I'll do, I'm going to lower the idle just a little bit for now. We'll see how it is. Right, I lower the idle to a little bit of a lower idle right there. If it has a hard time starting, yeah, the carb, the thing is you can't really rotate the carb. It would only do a 180-degree style rotation. Right? So let me put it this way. If you rotate the carb 180 degrees, then this high-speed needle will be in the way. I don't think you can rotate it, bro. Well, yeah, we could rotate this part, not this part, not the actual. Yeah, I see what you're saying. We can rotate that, and I can't do it now because it needs to be heated up. All right, bros, let's do some plumbing, and let's do some burning. What do you say? Should I save this for tomorrow? All right, Philip goes fire it up, hybrid. All right, let me try to get this thing correctly positioned there. Come on, 2mm nut. Let's go. You know you want to go in there. All right. Thing is, it's not a very good idea to fire up a rare, sickening chassis like this at night when you can't really see nothing. But, I mean, honestly, all I need... I mean, honestly, this linkage ain't going to move anyway. So, it's basically kind of stuck anyway. So, it ain't going to go anyway. So, I could probably just leave it like this. You know what I mean? Yep, adjustment, gang. All right, bros. Let's get some fuel in there. Where's my fuel line? Missing the fuel line. Okay, here we go. Let's get some fuel in there. Oh, that makes sense. That's why it was out, because it's hard to put the fuel line in from the side. That makes sense. And then I'm not going to be able to shove this in. I have to undo the whole pipe again. That's why the pipe was removed. Well, that explains a lot. Okay, here we go. And the plumbing is plumbed. All right. The plumbing is plumbed, everybody. What do you think? First ever fire in the hole? I'm going to remove all the linkages. I'm going to redo the linkages anyway. You know what? It wouldn't be a bad idea to get a rubber band on this. I could get a rubber band on it. Guys, let me just check this. Which way is forward? Forward is this way, so it has to spin to the right. I loosened the plug earlier. It's not going to be too crazy. I'm just checking to see. I mean, it has good compression. Yeah, speed free goes. It's pretty much pinned at idle anyway. Yeah, it's pretty much at idle. There's nothing that's gonna happen. There's no way this thing will ever move. It can't go beyond this anyway. So, all right, bros, we still got like 75 people here. If you haven't given this a thumbs up, you can. You know, that probably means something. I don't know what it means, but in the world of social media, we got a bunch of scammers out there. I'm not one of those scammers. Well, Hybrid's putting fuel in. When you put fuel in, only one of two things happens. Fire in a hole or nothing. Oh, damn. The primer is sealed up. I was going to use a nice little primer on that one. You know what? That means I can't prime it unless I have a starter box. Well, I can do the blow and go. Lotus goes half tank hybrid. All right, bros, what do you say? Go out and try it? I mean, I don't really like to prime things at night, but it's going to be difficult to even get this pipe in there if I don't prime it correctly. You always got to have a tank, because, like, let's say it don't fire up. I'm gonna waste a tank of nitro. I'm not doing that. All right, bros, what do you say? Am I motivated? All right, I'm gonna go try it. All right, fire in the 4-stroke hole. Let's hope. Let's roll. All right, what do I need? I got the glow driver. I got the light. I'll adjust the lights as soon as we're out there, bros, okay? I promise. All right. We're either going to have a runner or a runawayer. Melissa. Oh, Sandy ran away. Who do you think we're going to have a runner? Or a runawayer? All right. What I please need you to do, please open up the door and then give me the red starter box after, please. Appreciate you. Melissa, appreciate you. Without the A, we're just going to say the P. The video on this shortly. It's the only running S55 AMG in the world, by the way. They're all dead by now. You want an S55 AMG? Get yourself an HPI. Red box, please. Give me a second. Oh man, I have a box out here already. What was I doing with this starter box? Hybrid was out here messing around, I guess, today.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, boo. I will tell you guys, the starter box wheels on these newer boxes, they're like hella weak. You get this thing aligned a little bit wrong, and it starts smoking on you. I prefer these old style starter boxes on the right. New ones, they look good, they work good, but I'm telling you, you miss a line and this thing is going to be a smoke fest. All right, so we're going to try to use that one. All right, bros. Something good might happen or nothing good might happen. Let me make sure which way we go. All right, spins this direction. We don't need a carb right now. I mean, air filter. Let me make sure which way. All right, so it has to be reversed to prime. Okay. It has to be this position. All right, guys, what do you think is going to happen, huh? All right. To be honest with you, I can't see shit either. And the wheel is in the way. Oh my God, the wheel is in the way. That's the problem here right now. Let me just see if I can get it primed at all. But I might not be able to even. The wheel is in the way. I might have to remove the wheel. That's going to be annoying. I may not even be able to. I'm going to hold the carb over here. All right, bros. Good news is my finger is full of fuel as I primed it. What do you think is going to happen? Fire in the hole? Or disaster? All right, so the carb is barely open. I have my tuning screwdriver ready. All right, Ray Coral, everybody. Let's make a go at it. Hopefully the glow plug isn't toast. Well, at least I know the glow driver, the starter box does contact correctly. All right, fire in the vintage hole. All right, too much compression. Couldn't spin it over like that. All right, remove the plug like half a turn. Try again. Oh, it's good news and bad news. All right, it seems like it wants to go. All right. It's holy crap! It fell. Let me raise the idle a little bit. Maybe I lowered the idle too much. Maybe these things need a little more idle. Or I just did a little bit. Hopefully it starts. I don't know. All right, guys, let's go again. About 90 viewers. It's there. It's getting it. It's there. I'm telling you, it's gonna start. I'm gonna raise the idle a little more. It's about to fire up, bros. I think I just lowered the idle too much before. It's about to be a runner, everybody. Let's do it. That's right, Big Boys Toys. Me too, dude. All right, it's almost there. It's almost there. When we remove the plug, I mean, it's doing the spins. It's doing the spins. It's obviously very, very rich. Let's open up the idle a little more. It's still pretty low. It's not high. If I zoom in, I'm still on a fairly low idle right there. All right, bros, but it's sounding promising. It did fire up a little bit there. Come on. Can we get some prayers going here today, please? We need some Nitro prayers. All right, the plug is tight. All right, tighten the plug up. Let's flip over to a little bit. Oh, the camera's mad dirty in the front. My bad. Camera's super dirty. But I'm going to try to fire it up with this view for you all, okay? Fire in the hole, I hope. Hold on. Keep going, keep going, keep going, everybody. Oh, more like me. It's doing it. It's doing it. Just needs a little more idle. Let's keep going, bros. Keep going. It's doing it. It's doing it. 4-stroke, gang. It's getting there. Is the clutch toast? The clutch might be toast. Come on, damn light. Keep Hitler saluting out here. All right, do a little more. It's running. I mean, it's running. I'm not sure where we should be on the idle screw. That's the thing. It's just hella rich. That's what it is. All right. I'm thinking it's asking for some more air. Bros, I'm struggling out here. Could hybrid get a little hell yeah motivation? All right, got the idle a little higher. Maybe we'll lean it out. Lotus is correct. A little bit on the lean job. Let's do it again. Clutch could be dragging. That's something to look into. But the engine's a runner. Yeah! 4-stroke, baby! All right. It might need to run a little more. Hopefully it still runs when I remove the plug driver, but we got ourselves a 4-stroker. The runner, baby. Let's let it chill a little bit. It runs. Oh, that was difficult work. I could smell it from here, Wonder Bread. Smells, honestly, you could hear the low RPM in this. All right, I'm going to try to fire it up again. Yeah, the compression is definitely good. All right, Benjamin Bates goes, I have a 12 FE that it's kind of sputtering, but won't fully fire. What do I do? It sounds like it's getting way too much fuel. Lean it out a little bit. The thing is, you might have very low compression that it just doesn't have enough compression to fire up. That could be the really bad part. If you have very low compression, then it's going to keep sucking that fuel and not firing up. That might be the problem. Let's try it again. Bros, it's out of fuel already almost. Where'd the fuel go? Damn, this thing is not a fuel sipper at all. It's already out of fuel, guys. Bro, half-tank hybrid is more like no-tank hybrid right now. You want me to get a little more fuel or what? Dude, I just had it running for like half a minute. Oh my goodness. We're going to need a Nitro fuel fund for this. Separate. I'm going to have to get a food delivery job. All right, let me get a little more fuel. Well, bros, good news is it's a runner. What's up there, Xavier? Bad news is super thirsty. Thirstier than the Knicks people when they want to celebrate and actually destroy property, public property. You know, when you go to like public celebrations, you want to destroy public property, right? Let's try it again. Yeah, it's beyond thirsty, man. Thirstier than the chicks that are about to hook up with the Knicks players. Those thirsty. The rudder. Gotta inspect the clutch though. Yeah, we gotta lean this bad boy out. Nice and rich. Look at that smoke. 4-stroke, gang. Oh, yeah. That smoke is nice and oily. Look at that. Sickeningness. That's what I like to see, everybody. Running rich and hella loud. Ray, thank you, bro. For those tires, yeah, the tires are toast. I'm thinking the clutch might be toast as well. Thanks, Ray, bro. I'm thinking the clutch might be toast. Because it ain't supposed to be spinning at that low RPM. You know what I need to do? I need to lean it out a little more and put it down on the table, see if it like wants to go. If the clutch is toast, engine's gonna have to get pulled anyway. But it's definitely hella rich, so we'll lean it out a little more. Page goes, what's fuel? That's just regular VP 20% nitro, bro. Yeah, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, but this is the richest 4-stroke. Here. So thank you for that, Ray, bro. Yeah, these tires are beyond toast. They are dry rotted like Elon Musk's THC addicted brain. Oh no, he likes ketamine. Ketamine, I take it back. He got the wealthy drugs. He got the rich man drugs. He got the ketamine. Terra goes, the idle is high for a 4-stroke. I'm going to try to tune it. Yeah, the idle's too high. I think the clutch is toast. It needs to idle lower. Lotus, thank you, bro. Damn, I can't even get it out. It's too, All right, we're going to try to start at a lower idle, bro. The idle is hella high, but it's a runner. I mean, the good news is it's a runner. I'm going to lower the idle now that I got it a little bit better. All right, so I lowered the idle a little bit. Let's see. Hey, man, I'm touching the carb, and it's like cool. It's cool to the touch. Yeah, Lotus is one of my very, very early probably first month members. All right, let's try it again. It's basically going to run out of fuel soon. But yeah, the idle is too high. We're lowering it slowly. I think the clutch is toast, to be honest with you, which is weird because I inspected the clutch before. But let's fire it up again. It fires up good, though. Honestly, very good access to the starter box wheel. And it's not running hot at all. Like, I could easily touch it. The problem is there is no low speed on this, right? Yeah, it appears to be a single needle carb. Yeah, don't want to run. I think the clutch is toast. The wheels just seem to catch on too early. Probably we're going to have to pull this and inspect the clutch. Yeah, Terragos, you also got to check whether we can rotate the throttle arm. All right, so it appears that there's no low speed needle on this. Right? I got it running. I got it fired up. Yeah, with a clear valve cover, it would look real sickening. Actually, bros, I could probably start it without the valve cover, no problem. It doesn't really need the valve cover to run. That's just kind of for show, really. Dark Child, how you doing? Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you and all of you. I think for sure the clutch is probably toast. Cause I mean I'm spinning right now. It seems fine. It definitely fires up good, but like the wheel should not be engaging at that low of an RPM. And probably I'm having to maintain a high RPM to keep the engine spinning. You know what I'm saying? What do you say? One more fire in the hole? I mean, definitely I'm looking around it. There's no leaks anywhere. The fuel system seems to be good. I mean, it's an OS 4-stroke, baby, with valves. But yeah, it does not seem to run well after I lower the idle a little bit. So that's where I am on the idle right now. It's actually not that high. If you, I mean, it's kind of high. Yeah, it's a little bit on the high side. I can't really get it to run at a lower idle, probably because the clutch is dragging. Carl goes fire in a hole. Yeah, Terra goes. The 4-strokes need to idle way lower. Daddy Mads, well done on getting it running. Well, bro, we were on a mission today. Wound up buying another Nitro on eBay too, of course. Sick. I'm gonna try it one more time, but yeah, I need to pull this again and check the clutch. Yeah, now with the low idle, it doesn't want to run. Yeah, you see what I mean? And the wheels are just spinning. That shouldn't be happening. Oh yeah, I could feel the clutch pushing. The clutch is definitely pushing. That's some smoking. Oh yeah, the clutch is engaged. For sure. But it runs. I'm gonna shut it down. No, not yet. Rich, baby. Yeah, but the idle is too high. Look at that smoke. Can't kill a four-stroke, baby. Really clearing it out. See, it wants to go. All right, shut it down. Don't want to overheat it. So it seems to be running okay, but of course the clutch is definitely kind of on the loose side. Definitely need to pull it again and examine the whole clutch. But I mean, it's pouring through that fuel and going through that smoke. More like reversed. Gotta go and examine the clutch on this like in a little while. I mean, the good news is, guys, the good news is it's a runner. Uh, glow plug works. The carb seems to be, oh, look at that little bit of smoke coming out when I moved it. That was hot. And the compression, even on the warm engine, I'm spinning it over. It feels good. It feels real good. Yeah, but Dana goes, it's idling too high. Yeah, the idle's way too high. That's probably because obviously I got to lower it, you know, but I had to raise it because it wouldn't stay running due to the dragging clutch. I would say that's the case. But my dudes, I think we got a major success. This thing hasn't, I know for a fact, hasn't run in probably over 20 plus years. Right? As you could tell, the tires on it are, well, they're basically in tire heaven right now. It's toast. These tires, you could basically easily rip them. If you run this, it's they're gonna fall apart completely. So, but yeah, after all, this is a .26. This is essentially the same size as like a Savage engine, although looks small, but it's a .26. You know what I'm saying? We got ourselves a runner. Just need some minor work. I got to figure out the carb situation, and why the hell the carb is mounted with this thing hitting the shock tower. It don't make no sense. Well, bros, I think that's going to be it for today. I want to say thank you all for checking out the stream. I'm probably going to go pick up some pizza or some Taco Bell right now. I don't know what it is, I like to get the kind of the munchies on Fridays. Some people do some other things and then they get the munchies after. I burn nitros, get the munchies after. But I would say overall, big success. Of course, still need to figure out the electronics. But in this particular Super 10, the main thing is, well, it's going to be this OS engine and the exhaust. And these things, they seem to be very good. Just needs a little more work. Who knows? Maybe I'll go to Taco Bell, put this on the dash today of Melissa's car. Well, it's more like our car, you know what I'm saying? All right, Terra goes, if you can rotate the carb 180 degrees, the issue could be resolved. So let me tell you, bro, if you rotate it, I already thought about it, right? Let me show you what I mean. The thing is, I don't know if you can do that. Because if you rotate the carb, you know what? You don't even need to do 180 degrees. It just needs to be more like that way. Because then this high-speed needle, notice the way it's sticking out. It'll be hitting this bottom portion. So you can't really do 180 degrees. I mean, I'm going to have to remove this and get this whole carb loose in this insulator. So once I get it loose, we'll have something to talk about, But overall, I would say it's a runner for today at least. Well, bros. Okay, yeah, Terra goes, no, not the carb, the throttle arm. Okay, maybe the throttle arm. You know what I need to do? I need to look at like other pictures and see how these linkages are set up. Obviously, today we've discovered there was a lot wrong in the assembly. The valve cap was one of them. So who knows? That could be incorrect also. So I could be making things happen that don't need to happen. Big Boys Toys, thank you, man. He goes, beefy, cheesy burrito. We're going to get the double beef cheesy burrito, bro. That's here in America, people like double things. We like the double beef. Thank you, Big Boys Toys. I appreciate you, man. And once again, guys, let's congratulate our awesome channel member and viewer, Big Boys Toys, on picking up that sickening OS engine. My dudes, I'm going to have to leave you with that for now. If you missed it, I did buy a sickening vintage Nitro earlier during the stream, and I'm happy nobody got it away from me, if you know what I'm talking about. All right. Anyway, bro, I'm gonna go look at a couple pictures in the original Kyosho manual. Good comment there on Dana, because in fact this was installed by the prior owner, but really, you know, there were Kyosho Super 10s with these installed already from the factory. But I would say major work, hell yeah to all of you, the Nitro, and to people out there making a positive change no matter what you do in life. This is just one element of the hobby that I think I like to help myself and other people with, to pass their time. But some of us have other hobbies. Could be golf, it could be couch surfing, baseball games. It doesn't matter. As long as it's nothing self-destructive, that's what counts. Guys, see you next time. Thank you all, and have a good night.